Okay, so I want to do a little off the cuff with you. This means it's topics that I've been very passionate about, topics that I feel like I need to say a little bit about. First, the country, such as our little piece of the world, Illinois, entering phase three. Um, Congratulations, you made it to phase three, first and foremost. I want to just say lightly, and I'm not going to dig too deep, I think that social distancing still needs to be followed. We need to wear our mask. We need to, and that's not just for ourselves, but for others as well. Um, we also need to um, with the COVID thing, it's not just going to go away, okay? It's not going to be a miracle and just disappear. But more importantly, I think we need to really take a hard look at the United States as a whole, okay? Right now, we had a very bad death happen to a George Floyd. And people are protesting, and rightfully so, okay? I'm going to say this on this topic. I think that there should have been 4 arrests made, not just 1, 4. And it's just wrong. As a human being, for seeing someone else suffer to the point that they lose their life, where they say that they can't breathe, and you don't have compassion for that, when you hear them call out for their mama, and you just still keep ensuing what you're doing, no. But I think the lyrics of an old song from back in the 90s, Garth Brooks said it best. And it's called "We Shall Be Free." I'm not going to sing it for you. I'm going to read the lyrics, and I hope tonight it strikes a chord in you so deep that when you do these protests, you do it peacefully. Like Martin Luther King would get these people together and do a march. They never went in and broke into stores. We're already having the worst thing ever. We're getting to come back, reopen the country, if you will. But yet, it's the dangerous thing to reopen right now, because everyone is now not only scared of COVID-19, they're scared that their stores are going to get broken into and vandalized. And it's not the way to honor a memory of a person. You can protest, but do it peacefully. This ain't coming from no prophet, just an ordinary woman. When I close my eyes, I see the way this world should be. When we all walk hand in hand. Now listen to this part right here. When the last child cries for a crust of bread, when there's shelter over the poorest head, when the last man dies for just words that he say, we shall be free. When the last thing we notice is the color skin, and the first thing we look for is the beauty within, when the skies and the oceans are clean again, we shall be free. Now just take that part of the song. United we stand as a country. I can't say this enough. Divided we fall. Not just Illinois, not just New York, not just Minneapolis, Minnesota, Los Angeles, California, all the other states in between. I know that what was done is not right. And honestly, if we had a true leader in this country at the head of the helm, yes, I'm talking about the president, then we wouldn't be so backward. We needed a plan laid out for each of these states. on how to reopen properly. He dropped the ball. He couldn't do it. He gave the power to the governors. Then on top of that, he worries more about that space plan than he does what's going on in this country. There's talk of a second stimulus, but yet right now it's just talk because the House has done their job. They passed it. The Senate wants to rework it. And who knows what it's going to be like when they get done with it. Do they not realize we have people that are suffering while they're sitting on their butts collecting a check and arguing? I just don't understand what is wrong with this country. It starts at the top. The problem starts at the top. Okay? And it's a trickle-down effect. It hits every part of this country. You know, I just get so passionate about this because I love our country. And other countries look at us. You want to make, I mean, when it came to us, you know, being in the coronavirus, so far we're leading the deaths. And he's wanting to just scoot it under the rug, not even talk about it. Just open up that economy. Well, okay, now you've got a bigger problem. You're opening up the economy, but yet you got protests going on with riots. Why? It's not, and he's telling, you know, Minnesota and everybody else, get them under control. Well, what's your job other than worrying about going to space? Get your mind in your race, okay? Stop worrying about how you're going to get your next presidential election won. Here's a little news hint. I'm not going to be voting for you, so you don't have to worry. All you have to do is finish out this one, and preferably do it where we're all able to live in a society where we're not going to be worried about what it's going to be like to exit the house. And more importantly, you know, we're not fearful of not having a vaccine, which I noticed the other night. I will say this. Dr. Fauci said that by Christmas time that they hope to have a vaccine available. They hope. I just don't see why we're so focused on space when we've got all these other issues that should be more precedent than space. The man makes no sense. You know, we have kids out there going summer wide, struggling. We've got all these food banks that we see people pulling up on TV to get food and stuff, just to function. And yet they questioned there for a little bit if there was going to be a second stimulus. Hello! Money to the people is where it needs to be focused. Because the people is like a spoke in the wheel. Okay? We keep this country turning around. Okay? And if you don't help us, then we can't help ourselves. Now, for us essential workers, because, you know, there's a lot of essential workers. There's, you know, the grocery stores, the mail carriers, doctors, EMTs, first responders, firefighters, telephone operators. So many things that are, you know, very essential that gets taken for granted that has worked during this epidemic. You need to definitely take a long, hard look at that as well and adjust this accordingly. And just not look at let's get them back to work, you know, bit. Which is, yes, we do need to worry about getting people back to work. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. All I'm saying is let's do it responsibly where they're not going to be putting their lives in danger against COVID or against a riot. Let's end the rioting. And y'all, I'm trying to speak to you from a level head and a golden heart. I don't want to see anybody suffer. I don't want to see anybody have to not have a store open that may be one of their favorite stores that maybe just reopened, and then because of these riots we're having to shut everything back down again and go back to having curfews. Come on. Let's get our act together. We can do this. As a country, we can do this. Can you imagine these other countries out there looking at us going, seriously, this is how America is? Forget it. I don't want my green card. I ain't coming there. I guarantee you we got a lot of people saying that now. Why? We're supposed to be the leader. You know, good old Uncle Sam, right? How can good old Uncle Sam lead anything when we're not the first in finding a cure for COVID, not the first for finding a cure for racism, not the first for finding a way to get these people who need a hand up now and not later. And why are we worrying about going to the moon and being back in space? That should be on the back burner. Come on, Trump. I may not be your biggest fan, but we have to finish 2020, and I'm begging you at this point, show some leadership. Get out there, get yourself together, composed, and be the one thing that you haven't been, a leader. Now, with that being said, I'm going to do my book review, and we're going to try to calm my jets.